What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, this is what I've been talking about for the past week and a half, and I've been warning you guys about this because this was really easy to call. Now, over the course of about a week and a half, I've been talking about how we had this rejection coming. But the trend hasn't changed. We're still in a bullish trend. Guys, we broke the bullish trend a while back, and I was talking about how the market loves to come back down, probably hit the top right here, and then rejects again. That's exactly what just happened. So this is something that I do want to point out, because if you've been following the channel, subbing the channel, and liking my videos, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. This is why I woke up at 12 o'clock in the morning, 45 hours in, and yeah, I'm really tired, but let's get into it because it's my job as a YouTuber, right? This is what you sub to the channel for. So let's actually go over this, because this is something, a lot of people don't really notice until it's too late, or they just haven't picked up on it. So this top right here, we've been making lower highs, and I've been posting it in the Discord. If you want to come in and join the Discord, the link is in the description. But before that, for about the past week, which I've been giving you about almost a week and a half worth of warnings, saying, hey, watch out, this is going to be very easy to break. You can see the trend changing. We started getting lower highs. I've been posting it mostly in the Discord. So guys, literally, if you want real updates, just come to the Discord. Yeah, I can't post a video every 30 minutes like some YouTubers that sit in their mom's basement. So, but pay attention for this upcoming week and a half, 2 weeks, because the trend is finally breaking. But King, what do you mean by that? So every time, and I talk about it, how the 10 moving average, the 20 moving average, the 50, the 100, this is what it looks like. So if you are a trader, I'm telling you, it is very, very good. If you are just say that you're a bear, right? Say you have a shorting problem and you're trying to catch tops. This is probably one of the easiest ways, the cleanest ways, and probably really the only way to see if a top breaks. But this around the nighttime, we had a push during the Fed meeting, which was common sense, but it made a lower high on some things. I think it pretty much hit the bottom of this old support, right? Turn as resistance, been talking about it in my videos a lot. So we hit that rejection, but look at this. We finally got the break on the 10 moving average. But what do you mean, King? Because I'm new to your channel and I haven't subbed yet, which I don't see why you haven't. So let's actually look at it. And by the way, if you've been leaving likes on my videos, thank you. It helps me a ton. This is what it looks like. When you break that 10 moving average, you usually go down to the 20 moving average. But when you break that 10 moving average, that is a very strong indicator saying, hey, the top has broken. So that's one good way that you can, if you're trying to learn how to short or something like that, you really need to be using the 10 and the 20 moving average. Now, the one thing I do talk about, which a lot of other YouTubers don't talk about, is the 10 moving average can tell you the direction of your market. So when the 10 is when it's above the 20 moving average, that is a bullish trend. Okay. When it's below the 20 moving average, this red line right here, that is a bearish trend. So when you're seeing weakness in the market, you'll start to see the 10 start to curve, and you can start to see it right here. You can see it start to curve. Now, when it starts to curve, that means, a break is probably going to happen very soon. And that's why I try to give you guys about a week and a half of warnings in my videos, so you can kind of tell, what's going on. So, and by the way, just bear with me. This is 12 o'clock at night, and I'm so tired. I literally woke up from JC being in the Discord, which thank you so much, honestly, and a couple other guys. And there's some news too we need to go over too. But today in the Fed meeting, we did push and we broke the 10 moving average. But here's the one I've been talking about. This is probably going to be the one that slaps the entire market left and right, and it's going to be funny. It's going to be like, but I thought we were in a bull market, and this is where I make the videos as a YouTuber saying, I told you so, you should have listened and sub the channel, but you didn't. Yeah, I'm going to be probably that YouTuber in about 5-6 more days from now, just letting you know if you're a sub. But right now, after close, NVDA is at 180. Now, is it going to hold? You never know. Is it probably going to reject here and start pushing its way back down to around 155? Most likely. So if NVDA does do that, you're going to have really big drops in these indexes. Why would that happen? Well, NVDA is number one in mostly every index. And to give it kind of a grasp, because if you're a new trader, let's say you put, I don't know, 500 companies, and they probably still don't equal NVDA as market cap. You could probably get most of EU's entire market wouldn't even touch NVDA's market cap. That's how big NVDA is. It is huge. So if NVDA is going to break this moving average, which it's doing it right now after close because we're negative 300 points, yes, we can bounce and start rejecting off that 100 moving average. So just keep an eye on that, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. But this is breaking. So if this starts to break, this is absolutely going to slap the market next week, like hard. So just be very careful. If you're a bull, I was calling out probably for, I don't know, 2 weeks too. I was pointing out about how we could probably push off this 50 moving average or 100 moving average. And that's exactly what we did. I started making calls saying, hey, we're probably going to push, we're going to push. And then when we started hitting that 20 moving average, I started giving you warnings. Be very careful. You can start to reject from at that 20 moving average down, or you can start to reject from this old resistance. And that's what we're doing. So with the 10 moving average being broken in the NAS, that means the S&P 500 has broke. That means the NAS 100 has broke. The NAS, regular NAS, has broke. I haven't checked SPY, but on all your indexes for this Thursday session, you need to watch the 100 moving average. Now, if you're a day trader, you need to be very careful because this is something, it's not a video saying, hey, we're just going to drop 1,200 points in the market. Not financial advice. But here's the regular NAS. Let's actually go to the regular NAS. Sorry, I'm tired, guys. I'm not going to lie, I didn't even want to do this. But what I'm saying is, if you are a day trader, this is what you need to look for, and it's already starting. So maybe to just reject before market opens. So the 100 moving average, let's actually, I guess we can leave it. Either way, here, I'll actually delete it. So you're probably going to see the 100 moving average start to turn like this. Now, probably, I don't know, you still got 8 hours before market open, but what you're probably going to see is probably a push back up to that 10 moving average, and you'll start to see a rejection down to the 20 and the 50 moving average. Now, if you're playing on the short time frame, this is probably what you want to look for. Now, the biggest thing though is when you start to see the market break this 20 moving average, this red line, it's going to happen. I can tell you right now. You're going to see that's where a lot of this big sell-off is going to come in the market. So just be very careful. I just wanted to point that out. If you're a smaller time frame, I don't really like to trade on a smaller time frame, but that's, everyone has their own little kink or whatever you want to call it. But on the bigger time frame, that's what you need to watch for too, is bouncing off that 20 moving average, heading down to the 200 moving average. Keep an eye on the NAS, keep an eye on Apple, because they are probably going to destroy the market very soon. But we do have something coming up on, I think, let's see what JC said. JC said, whereas AVGO is after close today on Thursday. We have the 30-year bond auction 3 hours before close. And then next week, we have non-farm payrolls, a 20-year auction, CPI and core inflation rate. And then a couple other things, DOJ deadline to release on the SP. You would put that in, JC. It doesn't matter. No one cares, apparently. Democrat should. Just kidding. I really don't. I mean, I care for the victims. I just don't care for the politics grab on it. But yeah. But either way, AVGO earnings next week. This is what you need to pay attention to. If your indexes are breaking, saying going under the 10 moving average, like I just pointed out, if the indexes are going under the 10 moving average and heading down to the 20, that most likely means a lot of these companies like AVGO and other companies, they could probably start heading down to their 20 moving average. Well, they are going to, just point that out. Now, if your stock is like this though, and by the way, I've been calling left and right on these tops, so great job if you caught Microsoft's top. But let's just say if your stocks are already broken, not above the 10 moving average, this is going to be a very, very scared spot for you. So if you are already broken your 10 moving average, so say you're not like up here, right? Because a lot of the other stocks are above their 10 moving average and they're going to break. They can do something like this. But if you don't really have any supports on these Mega 7, if you're trading them, and the market starts to reject, say down to the 50 moving average or that 100 moving average, you're probably going to see a strong sell-off in some of these. Now, does that mean a stock market crash? No. Does that mean go all the way in with your life savings into puts? No, not financial advice, by the way. But you're probably going to see a very strong red bar in the next leg down, and you'll be able to see it in the moving averages. It's going to probably start rejecting off the 10 moving average, like I said all the time, because the bears are in control in a lot of these Mega 7. You're going to start seeing rejection, bounce the 10 moving average, rejection, bounce off the 10 moving average, rejection, bounce off the 10 moving average. That's a bearish trend. And if you need some kind of I don't know, some kind of what is that? Let's actually pull this up really quick. Even though I just want to go to bed. This is painful, not going to lie. But this is what it looks like. You'll have a rejection, bounce off the 10 moving average, rejection, 10, rejection, rejection, rejection. So that's what it's going to look like for this upcoming weeks for these stocks. Just pointing it out. But we're in a bull market. Okay, if you're one of those guys, let me show you something. Yes, we're still in a bearish trend or a bull trend. Where's the triple Q's tag? I don't know why it's not here, but whatever. But we're still in the 2023 bull market. We have hit this top. We have hit this top. We have hit this top. And we just hit that top. We are still hitting a top. We push from 400 the triple Q's to around 40 nonstop. If you don't think it's going to have a hard rejection down to this support of around 560, still in the bullish trend. That's not into a bear market yet, but I'm just saying it is not going to be hard to hit 560. So some of the people that are like, there's no way we go to 560. Well, there's no way we're going to break out of the bullish trend to make another new bullish trend to go into another bull market, cutting rates with inflation about to go up. So just pointing that out too, Jimmy. But yeah, just pay attention to your stocks. Let's go over the Mega 7 really quick. And I just want to point these out because I wish I had the after hours on and I don't really want to mess with the settings. But either way, I'm going to go over the levels you need to pay attention to and not play past these levels and puts because there's a reason why they're cheap, Jimmy. You don't buy puts past these levels because it's probably going to be unrealistic in a couple of days. Like over time, yes, but just in general, just play your like moving averages. They're going to be really easy to hit this upcoming weeks. So I'm going to go over them. AVGO, say if it does have a bad earnings, it is definitely going to blow past this 10 moving average. And by the way, I don't have my after hours on, so some of these could be already breaking their 10 moving average. So you kind of might want to check it. But either way, if this drops, your first support on, I would probably say the 20 moving average around 374 or 372, sorry, is going to be your first support. There is a chance for this bottom of this 50 moving average, this yellow line, around 360 hit. So if it has a bad earnings and it's hitting 360, that's probably when you need to sell it, Jimmy. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't mean, oh my gosh, it had a hard rejection. I'm going to keep holding because I bought 270 puts because I don't know what I'm doing. No. If you should be not buying past this dollar amount. That's what I'm saying. But 360 is going to be your first probably, or really the 20 moving average or 360, not financial advice. Google is sitting on that 10 moving average, about to break and help the market reject. So you are going to have your first support if you want to play it short term around 306. If it does have another rejection, you do have a support around probably around like 294. To past 294, you're really pushing it if you want to push it to the next moving average because you're broke because you got to use it for lunch. Not even dissing you because I've done that so many times. But you are going to look around at 279. Let's go to Apple. Apple is, yeah, I forgot. Apple did break. It was on Wednesday when I was at this girl's house. Waste of time. Don't do it. Don't date. The girls are a waste of time. Not even going to lie. I had fun. But either way, pay attention. It did break that 10 moving average. It is sitting on that 20 moving average. Your first support is going to be around 266. Do not be aiming for this. That is too much. Don't aim for 248. Play your first support around 267 on your puts if you do it. Meta. By the way, I hope you guys are like following like this channel. I literally told you this was a high rejection zone multiple times on multiple videos. We got that rejection. So if you caught that short, great job. Not financial advice, but we did get that rejection. I think we are below the 10 moving average. So your next support is going to be around 628. And by the way, if you are holding puts, not financial advice, from this top that I was talking about, and you didn't sell, you kind of might got lucky and you might actually start pushing around around 628 because it is below the 100 moving average and the market hasn't really started to move on the drop. So you might actually start pushing a little bit lower if you want to grab some more cash off of that push. Amazon still floating. I did call that top on Amazon, but it did reject, bounce, but you are at another high rejection zone. Okay. So your next support is going to be around 215. If you want to play a little bit less, which I probably would, probably look at around 220. Tesla is sitting on that 10 moving average at a high rejection zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at this rejection zone. So if you're a Tesla trader and you're following that Facebook page that's telling you to buy Tesla stock because, you know, it's going to the moon. If the market's about to reject, Jimmy, and the Mega 7 are about to break their 10 moving average or their 20 moving average or probably already starting to do that, that means Tesla's going to go down, Jimmy. You should probably not be in those calls, okay? But if this does reject, I would probably look around 423 on the low end, yeah, around that 100 moving average, around 395. And then also on NVDA, This is going to be a tricky one if you are trying to short this or anything like that. And I know there's a bunch of bulls just grinding their teeth right now. Sorry, we're in a bear trend on a lot of these. I do calls or bullish stuff, but that's only when the market's reading it. So sorry if you're a bull. But if we do reject here, which we're most likely going to because the market's already breaking some moving averages, you do have 155. But here's the thing about this. That is a very long drop. I mean, not really, honestly, really not that far. But I would probably start just like looking around probably like a lower high mark. So I'd probably do like 166 on a short term. But in the long run, in about 3-4 weeks, maybe even less, honestly, 155. AMD sitting right on that 10 moving average. It's in that jam just like NVDA. Literally one more, honestly, it could be broken. I don't have these up on the after hours. So sorry, I'm just out of it. But either way, you're going to have your first support around 196. I wouldn't really play 154 yet, but 196 is going to be pretty much your first support. Microsoft, like I said, if you want to play on the low end, I would probably play 448 if you are just broke like, a lot of people in this world, because Biden had his incredible 2.5 years of bull market with high rates and destroyed the middle class. But yeah, but if you really want to play like on a day trade, probably that this orange line right here. Gosh, I can't even remember my moving averages. That's how tired I am. What is it? 200 moving average. So, but yeah, also on the 10-year yield, because I know that's a hot topic right now. There's a lot of other YouTubers that kind of made videos before. Where's that? Either way. But there's a lot of YouTubers like Ron, which don't talk about Ron like that. Well, you shouldn't be talking about Rebecca at work, Becky, but you do. Yeah, you don't like her. I don't like them. Mostly because they don't give you even real TA. They just sell fear. So, sorry, Becky. You can stay out of my comments. And yes, I had a couple probably females that were in my comments the last week. Don't talk about Ricky or Ron. Well, find a better channel then. Good luck. But either way, 10-year yield broke into a bullish push. Now, it did have a rejection. We do have a lot of support, which it's probably going to find it again. It was just retracing. It hit the gap, King. Well, okay, it hit the gap. That's great. But you're probably going to see this start pushing up. And if you don't understand, let me turn off the moving averages and try not to sneeze on the mic. Please don't do it. I don't want to cut it. Okay, so 10-year yield's been going into a sideways action. Now, this is one thing a lot of traders don't know about. I talk about the 10-year yield here and there. I kind of stopped talking about it because I didn't want to talk about this for, 4 months of just slowly ticking. So this right here from the top to the bottom, this is around 400 in the triple Qs. I'll show you in a second. I'll verify it because, that one kid probably is like, no, that's not how it works. Okay, let me show you how it works. Let's pull up the triple Qs, 10-year yield. Now it's not going to be down to the 1 minute time frame. You can kind of see it a little bit better here. So when 10-year yield goes up, okay, market goes down. I know, mind blown. Yes, I know a lot of people don't know that. So when the market when the 10-year goes down, the market goes up. I hope I'm not getting sick. Oh, I got to show you a picture, by the way. But that's pretty much what I'm talking about. So as the 10-year yield, and you can do this on the other 10-year or other year yields, when this goes down, market goes up. You see what I'm saying? So this 10-year yield, if it starts to push up, that means the market's probably going to go down. Actually, the 10-year yield made a move before the market sold off today. So I usually don't talk about it, but this is one good indicator to use, which is not really an indicator, but this is a good way to see if you see any action coming into the market. The 10-year yield made a move before the market, and this was where I was talking about. So I just want to point out this. The moving averages can kind of tell you what's going to happen. Notice how the 10-year yield is hitting. Can anyone say it? The 100 moving average. So if it's pushing to its 100 moving average, what do you think the triple Qs could be doing very soon? The 100 moving average. So that's a one good trick. There's a couple other tricks a lot of other traders use. I can't really put in every single video. Sorry about that. So sub the channel. But yeah, that's one good sign for you bears. Sorry, bulls. But let's actually go over something because I do want to point this out as a single parent. And especially, I have a backstory to this. The new flu. This is one of my close friends. Her daughter has 102 fever. The new flu is no joke. So can't really tell you about how the mask works because they don't. But just be very careful, guys. It's day 5. Usually, if anybody had COVID last time, it took about 3 days. Yes, some people are different. Probably took 2 weeks, but mostly just saying this new flu, COVID, whatever you want to call it, they're probably going to nickname it. I don't know. Trump might nickname it Biden. I don't know. Either way, no joke. Be very careful. It's just weird how it starts around December 10th. Backstory, though. I actually caught COVID on day 1. The reason how I did it was because, no, I wasn't watching Fox News, just letting you know. I actually do watch news in other countries because I think it's fascinating to see what other countries are going through and we're not talking about. So around December 12th, I remember the day-ish, and before COVID started, because COVID came around on the news around in January because it started spreading really fast. That's what they said. Not going to back it up or say it's false or true, just saying. But I remember seeing it, and it takes about a month and everyone starts talking about it. So, but this one's no joke. Honestly, I really think if more people die of the flu than COVID,